Hi guys, how are you? Let me see here. You can see me. I'm staying on my standing desk today with my morning coffee. I just wanted to give you a quick video. It's been several days. I was away without my computer, so I wasn't doing any work. And I was traveling, and I just wanted to talk just a little bit about my experience on the airplane, and for those of you who have some uneasiness about flying, or when things get really bumpy in an airplane, and I kind of wanted to extrapolate to more bumpiness in life. Um, Everyone's got different challenges when things get bumpy. So I just wanted to tell you really quick what happened on this flight, what I did to help myself. So when I fly, usually I'm flying with my husband, and he's really good. He is a very confident flyer. So when anything happens in the airplane, I know I can kind of just grab his hand. If we're taking off and it's like, ugh, or if it starts to get bumpy in the air, or very turbulent, or the landing seems kind of weird, or even if I hear something weird in the airplane, then my mind starts going, right? I grab his hand, and that steadies me. And he totally knows when I'm going to do it, and he's ready for me. It's great to have someone who can support you. So that's the number one thing is, do you have people around you who support you when you feel afraid? In any way. It could be someone you can call, it could be someone that holds your hand, it could be someone who can listen to you, or can look at you, or acknowledge you. And if you don't have someone outside yourself, then do that for yourself. So that's the other thing that happened, was when we were flying this time, in one of the flights, he wasn't next to me, he was in back of me. So I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to have to figure out, I'm not going to grab the next guy's thigh, although that would have been exciting. What am I going to do if I start to feel a little frightened or nervous on this flight? And sure enough, it was a very turbulent flight. And I thought, okay, what am I going to do? So one of the things I did was I simulated grabbing his thigh by grabbing my own thigh. So what I was saying to myself was, you're going to steady me. You're going to steady me. I can count on you. And if you look at that energetically or metaphorically, is I have something within myself, or maybe it's also within God or the divine or somewhere else, that's connected to me, that I can connect with and feel stable, that I can feel a little better connecting to that. So that could be prayer, it could be grabbing your own thigh, holding your own hand. Sometimes I've patted myself and said, I just love you, you're okay, I know you're scared. So acknowledging yourself. That's all what my husband was doing for me, was acknowledging you need some steadiness. I had to do that for myself. And you can do that when you're feeling afraid. Acknowledge, yes, this is what's happening, this is what's coming up, and I'm going to stabilize myself. I'm going to acknowledge it, I'm going to see it, and I'm going to comfort it and give it compassion, which is what everyone really wants, right? It's everything that every child yearns for in a parent that maybe you didn't get, was that sense of comfort or sense of acknowledgement or being seen or recognized. This is going on. I know you're feeling this way. I love you. I see you. I'm taking care of you. And I'm helping you um, to come back into regulation with your emotions. So I was doing that with myself. And then the other thing that I did, which was super helpful, was I remembered my square breathing, which, if you don't know what square breathing is, it's literally you inhale on the count of four, you hold your breath on the count of four, you exhale on the count of four, and then you hold for a count of four. And I did that over and over and over and over again when we were in that turbulent state. And part of it was, it focused my mind on counting, it focused me on my body, it helped my physiology calm down. It was great. And so I've done square breathing a number of times. It's always helpful. And sometimes I play with the numbers. Sometimes I do the square 4, 4, 4, 4, or sometimes I do 4, 7, 8, 4, whatever way you want to do it. There's different numbers where you're inhaling on different counts and holding and exhaling and holding. But the point of this is I was helping my body to stabilize itself. It was still, I was still feeling the emotion. My body was still having the effect of that emotion, but I was focusing my mind on something I could do for myself that would help calm it a little bit. And it made the whole experience so much easier. And of course, the turbulence stopped after a while and we landed and everything was fine, which is another thing I want to bring up, which is 99% of the time, the stuff that we're really afraid of doesn't come to fruition. It's just turbulence. Sometimes things do happen and you can't be in denial of that. But a lot of times, the stuff that we're afraid of is just the turbulence, which is just bumpy air. And then another thing I did was I opened my eyes and I looked around the cabin and I looked outside. And, you know, when you're having turbulence, there's sort of this feeling like, oh my gosh, we're going to hit the ground. And I'm like, the ground is way below us. What we're just doing is bouncing around in the air. So that was another thing to help be helpful, although it's uncomfortable for me particularly, and some people have no problem with it. You know, some people are like, woo, this is great. My mind does not necessarily register it that way, but I know that I'm having a narrative in my mind, and that's what is tormenting me. Bottom line is the narrative. So these are different ways to connect with yourself, connect with your body, get out of the narrative, and focus on something else. So I just wanted to throw that out there that these were really helpful things. You can try any of them: the square breathing, the having support outside and inside, helping to stabilize, distracting your mind on something that you can focus on that's not the narrative. Remember that you're having a narrative and that's what's really tormenting you. All those things are really important. And I just wanted to let you know that next week on the 11th and the 13th, I'm having some free workshops. And they're all about this kind of stuff. They're all about how to get from that part of your mind that makes you miserable to the part of your mind that sees and experiences miracles. And it's called From Mom Misery to Miracles. Feel calmer, confident, and powerful in 15 minutes a day. And I'll be talking about how that all works. So if you're interested, it's about a 45 minute presentation. If you go on my website, becomingawake.com, you'll see it in events. Just click on events. You'll see there's several of them. I'm doing them kind of in a row on the 11th and the 13th. They're all the same presentation, but come on and listen to how you can do this with your mind, because it's very possible. I've done it. I've had hundreds of thousands of people have done it, and it's an amazing explanation and presentation about how to shift that in your mind, because you don't have to suffer. You don't have to suffer constantly with this stuff and constantly being in survival mode. You can shift your brain out of survival mode into that more sage, wise, open, innovative, creative, miracle mind that people talk about, but not a lot of people experience. So if you have any questions, let me know. If there's something you want to hear about, let me know. Just put it in the comments or private message me. And I'll be coming back this week with more videos about whatever's going on in my life or whatever I hear from other people that I think would be helpful for you. So hope this was helpful. Happy flying and traveling whenever you do it. And if you hit some turbulence, you know what to do now. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.